2 days before race day. Looks like the wind blows pretty strong around here. It's blowing the fans off that windmill up there. It's blowing them flat. This morning we're going to take a flight down to Diamantina till we get to Goyder Lagoon, Channel Country, then follow that down the Warburton River to Lake Ayre. From Lake Ayre we will head to William Creek for a bite to eat, and after that we're going to head a little bit further east, follow Lake Ayre back up the other side of the Diamantina to Birdsville. It's pretty windy today, and we'll see what happens. We're going for a flight over Lake Ayre on this plane this morning.
She'll be telling you what you're looking at.
There's the vermin-proof fence and the border of South Australia and Queensland. So we're now flying over South Australia. I estimate there's over 2 million camels in Australia. Diamantina River up top of the screen. The water that flows down the Diamantina River flows through to the Channel Country, Goyder Lagoon, and then into the Warburton River and into Lake Ayre. You can see why they call it channel country. This is Goyder Lagoon, and part of Clifton Hill Station. The Diamantina runs into Goyder Lagoon, and Warburton River comes out of Goyder Lagoon and runs into Lake Eyre. Below is Ayre Creek Station, or part of, which is the largest cattle station in the world. It used to be owned by Sydney Kidman. The track below is the Birdsville inside track, a shortcut into Birdsville. Looks like a lot of water laying around in all these channels at Goyder Waterhole. River starts around here. A few cattle wandering around. The highest peak around here is around 120 feet. It's pretty flat out here. That's why the water lays everywhere. And below, the station country is finished and the desert has started again. Lake Vivatara. Lake Warrendarina. Lake Pantubarina. And here is Warburton River. Takes about 3 months for the water to get down here from the catchment and flow into Lake Eyre. You can just make out Lake Eyre on the horizon where the strong winds out there are lifting salt off the lake bed. Here we are at Lake Eyre North. Here we have Calamarina Inlet, which flows into Lake Eyre. A small channel flows off the Warburton River here and releases some of the water into Lake Eyre prior to the inlet. This is where Calamariina Inlet reaches Lake Ayre. There's a thick salt crust at the north end of this lake due to the fact that it very rarely goes underwater. It'll get water from the rain but very rarely gets flooded. Many a aircraft and car has been bogged on this lake. The surface seems firm but is usually very soft underneath. A lot of salt floating around out there. Clouds of salt. These are mountain springs that come up from the Artesian Basin. Below is the lowest part of Lake Ayre. This is silt that's been washed out with the flood. And here we are at Belt Bay. Cattle have been wandering around out on the lake. From here we head to William Creek. Below is part of Ayre Creek Station, the biggest cattle station in the world. The town of William Creek sits within Ayre Creek Station boundaries, but is not owned by Ayre Creek Station. Ayre Creek Station runs about 18,000 head of cattle. But in a bad drought you can go down as low as 2,000. The track below takes you to Ayre Creek Station Homestead. The track can get pretty rough at times, but the Ayre Creek Station keep it pretty reasonable. She's a bit dusty out yonder. There's the Unadata track and we're coming into William Creek. That's William Creek in the top right hand corner. And the township of William Creek. We're going to land here and have a bite to eat. Over the Diamantina track to get to the terminal. That's where the pilots live. This is the Diamantina track. Basic bitumen on the track. Bit breezy at William Creek. We're going to the pub. William Creek pub. This is a new RFTS clinic. It pretty much runs by itself. The Royal Flying Doctor Telehealth Centre, where you can have a teleconsultation with a doctor. So there's cameras set up and everything. To a certain extent, there's remedial help inside. Leaving William Creek. Ayre Desert, the sand dunes run east-west, whereas in the Simpson they run north-south due to the direction the wind blows. And this is Ayre Desert below. This is all salt lifting off the bed of the lake. Salt looks like clouds out there. ABC film crew were killed hereabouts after filming a fella by the name of Rex Ellis coming down Cooper's Creek, I think it was. There's an estimated 2 million camels roaming around Australia. There's not many in this Ayre Desert. There's a heap in the Simpson Desert. Around here it's mainly wild brumbies roaming around the desert. We're now over Diamantina station. It very rarely rains out here, but this year they got a fair bit of rain. Here we are back at the Warburton River. That's Ayre Desert below. and Sturt Stony Desert out to the north. Below is Marina Homestead. The Warburton River. And we're back at Goyder Lagoon in the Channel Country. Now we're over Clifton Hills Station, nestled right on the edge of Goyder Lagoon. This is the Birdsville inside track, a shortcut down the Birdsville track into Birdsville. It's inaccessible at the moment because it's underwater, most of it. This is part of Pandy Station. After so much rain this year, they had a good crop of grass and managed to cut some hay this year on the edge of the Simpson Desert. Below is Pandy Homestead, nestled on the edge of the Diamantina River. Below is part of the Birdsville track. So we're coming back into land at Birdsville. It was a good tour, that. Yeah, a lot of happy campers down here on the track out to the racetrack, where it's all free camping. They got showers and stuff set up out there as well. Diamantina River on the left, and under the wing just a minute ago was the Birdsville Billabong. Coming into view now. Incidentally, this is the grass they were cutting for hay on along the Simpson. Here's a happy crew after a very enjoyable tour. This is the town water supply from an artesian bore. It's cooled here and in tanks prior to being used because it comes out bloody hot. This is the northern entrance into Birdsville. I used to rely on these camels just about all sorts of goods being sent out and brought into Birdsville back in the day.